Hey guys, how's it going? The long-awaited day is finally here. Metroplex has arrived at my house, and I finally now am going to have a transformer taller than Fortress Maximus. Obviously this is just the regular retail Hasbro release. This is not any sort of exclusive. This is the one that's going to be at retail everywhere. I actually got mine from Amazon for $115 with free shipping. That was the cheapest I could find them. I think currently on Amazon it's selling for a lot more than that. So if you want to get this guy soon, I would actually recommend Big Bad Toy Store or one of the other Transformer-focused places, maybe like Captured Prey or TF Source or whatever, to get them. I actually wouldn't recommend Amazon right this minute, at least when I'm recording the first part of this video. That may change by the end of the video because I'm sure there will be a gap of some days when I assemble this guy, get his stickers on him, all that stuff. Anyway, here's the front of the box. Obviously, we got some pretty large artwork here with Metroplex, and you see some splotches here. And let me just get closer, and as you can see, those are actually other Transformers in relation to them. There's Bumblebee, there's Hoist, there's Sandstorm, there's Optimus, and this blue guy here. I'm not entirely sure who that is, to be honest with you. Can't tell from the back. Anyway, this is just an enormous box. I grabbed a box of another recent acquisition of mine just so get an idea, if you have this toy, just how big this box is. Here is a Masterpiece Soundwaves box in relation to this, and it's maybe about 2/3 the size of Metroplex's, so it just goes to show you just how big it is. Anyway, I'll show you the other side of the box here, or sides rather. We've got some photos of him in his various modes here. Talks about his lights and sound gimmick. At the top it just says Transformers Generations. And on the side we've got his tech specs, a blurb about him, and a drawing of his face. And on the back here we have a kind of a, there's a photo of him, actual size of the guy. Friggin' huge. Anyway, now I'm going to go ahead and show you actually how he became, how he comes packaged in this thing. So let me go ahead and get that out of the way. This is kind of the inner shell, and again, I just want to apologize for this video, guys. Right now, my review room is a bit of a mess. That's why I don't have my table set up. I'm going through kind of a reorganization of my collection, so it's not up to its normal standards. So, again, I'm just sorry about that, guys. Anyway, let me just go ahead and put him, I guess sideways is going to be the best way to do this. Basically, that's how he comes packaged. Me and my wife already kind of undid the twist ties on him, but there's his arm. His arm actually is not attached to him at all in the package. And looks like we've got a Scamper here. And there's his large red gun. And there's two black guns above him. Anyway, that's pretty much going to wrap up the inbox portion of this. I'll be back to go over his base mode. Sorry guys, this is actually just a bit of addendum to the last part of the video, the inbox portion. I kind of forgot to include information about a few other things that he comes with. He comes with this massive sticker sheet. This reminds me of the G1 days. We haven't had to put this many stickers on a Transformer in quite some time. It's just definitely a little strange, but hey. That happens sometimes. And unfortunately, one of my stickers came like this. So, yeah, I hope that's not a problem to get it to actually stick to the toy. It'll be interesting stickering him up. He, of course, also comes with this wonderful sheet telling me where all the stickers go. I guess it's only one-sided. Alright, guys, I'm going to go ahead and pause again. And when I come back, he'll be fully assembled, stickered up, and in base mode. Okay guys, here I have Metroplex Metroplex, all stickered up, transformed it into his absolutely gigantic city mode. Now you might wonder to yourself, why is Fortress Maximus sitting next to him also in his city mode? Basically, the reason I did that was to basically show the way the two of them can interact with figures in their respective base modes. I thought it'd be nice to compare the two basically in all three modes because, you know, obviously the most compared figure that Metroplex is going to be compared to, of course, is Fort Max, which is, of course, the previous record holder for largest transformer. He had that record for 28 years. That's a pretty long run. Anyway, before I get into the meat of this review, I would just like to make a quick note here about stickering this beast. Okay, there were right around 100 stickers, maybe give or take a few for this guy. Took me a real long time to sticker them, and there were two important tools that I had, and even with these two tools I didn't do a perfect job, unfortunately. Tool number one, pair of tweezers, and tool number two, a flashlight. This is actually the type that has a little band on it that can go on your head, see? And it lights all sorts of, you know, illuminations. Anyway, those two things were instrumental in getting some of the stickers on. Some of them were definitely a pain in the butt. You know, it's just, yeah, it was a process to get him stickered. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and actually move the camera physically closer now and just kind of zoom in on different parts of Metroplex here, and just a comparison with Fort Max, because I'm actually about the camera's maybe 1 to 2 feet away from the table to get, you know, this whole establishing shot in. So it was the only way I could get both of those beasts in the same shot. So I'm actually just going to pick up the tripod and move it in a little bit closer here. Okay. And we'll just go ahead and actually zoom in on some of Metroplex here. And as you can see, starting at the top here, he's got his tower there. And of course, that's just his gun. If you want to, you can actually fold it down and have it be like maybe an artillery cannon or something in this mode. I think that's pretty cool. Going on down here, I actually put Deluxe Springer on the helipad. I think that looks, you know, neat, having an actual helicopter on the helipad. Just go ahead and actually just kind of show you what that looks like from the top a little bit. Just bear with me, guys. Got to pick up the whole tripod, and it's a floor-mounted tripod, so it's a little large. And there he is. That's it from the top. Got a bulkhead manning that gun there. We got Scamper ready to deploy. We just got... Oh, we got Legion's Optimus right there. And again, guys, excuse the mess in this room. I'm doing a reorg, and there's definitely some stuff on the floor. There's Follow Cybertron Jazz in there. There's Follow Cybertron Optimus, and I just put Voyager Optimus right here just to basically just so you get an idea of the scale of this thing. I'll set that right down there, and then of course, I already did a pretty extensive review of Fortress Maximus, and I will actually link to that video in the video description for this one. And there's good old Fort Max interacting with some deluxe scale figures from various lines, mostly G1. And I guess now I'll just show you some of the other features of Metroplex in this mode. We of course have Scamper there, and you can launch him by just kind of pulling this out, and then he has the drop of death, unfortunately. He doesn't really deploy that well because of that drop. It's kind of a problem. But, you know, if it's done right, sometimes you can luck out. Let's try it again here. Let's just go ahead and see if we can actually get him to... He doesn't go very far because there's just the drop there. And but if it's done correctly, he can keep rolling. And now I know you can't see it on the camera. Just move the camera a little bit, and then he could come out here, and voila, that's pretty much it. I don't really have a whole lot else to say about his city mode, except there's a lot of, you can do a lot of figure interaction with it. It's a great play set, for lack of a better term. It's really cool. It's absolutely massive. It's a lot longer than Fortress Maximus's, and I think the reason for that is because the way the transformation, the legs just fold out. I mean, there's a lot of folding out of things, and when you have a figure this large and it folds out, it takes up even more space. Anyway, that's going to pretty much wrap up, I guess, the city mode portion of him. I'll be back in a flash, and we can go over his rolling aircraft carrier or vehicle mode. Okay, guys, here I have both Metroplex and Fort Max in their wonderful rolling battle station modes, and I have to say, out of the two of them, I think Metroplex is a lot better in this mode than Fort Max is in this mode. Fort Max honestly kind of just looks like a mistransformed city mode, whereas Metroplex actually looks like a fairly well thought out mode. So in this one, I actually think Metroplex is much better. Now, as far as the size comparison between these two, Fort Max is actually right around the same size as Metroplex in this mode. They're actually pretty much exactly the same length, and by that I mean from the very back where Metroplex's arms in the back to the front of his feet, and the same thing for Fort Max. Length is about the same. Width, Fort Max is a little thicker, but Metroplex is still pretty wide. They're real close to each other in size in this mode, as they are in robot mode, which of course we'll get into here in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and just get Fort Max out of the way. I just wanted to show the two of them kind of next to each other here. And let's see if I can just get a little more of Fort Max in frame. And there he is. That's pretty much that. So let me just grab Fort Max here, and I'll try to get him just out of the way. Okay, that was easy enough. Now we'll just go ahead and move the camera a bit closer to Metroplex here, and that way we can give him a more detailed look. Now this is the official transformation for him. Oh wait, I'm sorry, before I get into the meat of this, my mistake, I forgot. I wanted to make another note here about stickering this beast. The way I did it was I started off in robot mode, then I moved to this mode, the rolling aircraft carrier, and then finally his city mode. So I actually kind of did it in the opposite order that I'm doing this video in. For me, that was the easiest way to do it. Your mileage may vary. Feel free to sticker him or not sticker him. You know, whatever you want to do, however you want to do it. I'm just telling you the method that worked for me, and I felt was easiest. Anyway, as you can see, he can comfortably fit, let me just kind of move him to his side here, 3 deluxe figures on one of his lanes, as it works. He's got 2 lanes, you know, one from each leg. Now this is the official transformation for him, but one thing that I like to do myself actually is, let me just show you my little alteration to it. Oh, but before I show you that, I know other reviewers have mentioned this, but I feel it is worth bringing up. He has this neat little repair arm in this mode, and this is the only mode where you can access this feature of the toy. Now, I'll show you my, quote, mistransformation here, because I'm all about figure interaction with these giant transformers. So basically what I do, my mistransformation is just bring this arm forward and pop this gun out, and then He's got two big cannons because he's got one right there where Optimus is, and we can just swap Optimus over to man either one of those guns. The small figures will fit in there. I just think that's a neat feature, something to do if you want to do it. Of course, feel free to transform correctly or not, your choice. And as far as the whole Scamper being deployed in this mode, it actually works slightly better because it doesn't have the drop of death. So, as you can see, he rolls there, but he doesn't really go all the way down the lane. But that's fine because if he did, he'd fly off the toy. So it's fine that he doesn't do that in this mode. But at least he doesn't have that drop of death. Overall, I have to say, I really like the way this mode looks. I think it works really well. It reminds me a bit of just a variety of aircraft carriers I've seen. Just looks like kind of a sci-fi, you know, aircraft carrier. I don't know what else to say about it. It's absolutely massive, and it looks real good. And of course, one other feature that I didn't really get to show you is his head here actually has a little, it's like a little target finder and stuff. So if you want, you can actually have figures there man his head and use his head as a gun if you so choose. I'll go ahead and just show you the rest of them here in this mode. Let me show you another highlight of him. He has another helipad actually right there, which is pretty cool. And I don't really know what else to say about his rolling aircraft carrier mode, except it looks really good. It's my out of his two alt modes, I like this a lot better than the city mode. I do like the city mode, but I think this is a better looking alt mode, and it rolls real well, and it's just really nice. I really like this mode. Anyway, that's pretty much going to wrap up his vehicle mode. I'll be back to conclude with robot mode. Okay guys, here I have him transformed into his robot mode, and of course next to him I have his good friend and compatriot Fortress Maximus for the obligatory size comparison between the two. It seems every reviewer's doing this, so I just figured, hey, why not me too? Oh, and before I proceed further, I want to credit actually Mitch Santona for the phrase "drop of death" that Scamper has. I actually saw that in his review. Thought it was kind of funny, so I just repeated it. Just wanted to let you guys know where that came from. He does a lot of Transformers reviews on his channel. I think he's worth checking out. Anyway, getting back into this, I think it looks like Fort Max is maybe 1 to 2 inches shorter than Metroplex at the head. It's not a big difference. Metroplex is a little tiny bit taller than Fort Max, but it's certainly not a, you know, huge difference. Now, as far as weight goes, I think Fort Max actually weighs more. And there's one other thing that's great about Fort Max, which I'm actually going to illustrate for you right now. Just bear with me here, guys. Just gonna do some camera movement here too, so I don't knock it over. And this is something Fort Max can do, and unfortunately Metroplex cannot because of the design. Oops. Well, almost got it. Almost. Oh, jeez, oh Pete. Not as easy to do this on camera, of course, as it is off camera. I actually had Fort Max standing on one leg. Let me go ahead and pause this thing, and then I'll resume after I get it where it needs to be. Okay, guys, it actually only took me a few seconds after I paused it, but as you can see, Fort Max is capable of quite an acrobatic feat that Metroplex is not, and that is due to extremely tight joints in his legs. I just wanted to illustrate that. And this toy, you got to keep in mind, is not the recent reissue. This is Brave Max from 2001, and his joints are still this tight that I can actually balance him on one leg like this. This absolutely gigantic, massive toy balanced on one leg. That is amazing. And I'm actually going to get into why I'm pointing this out here in a few minutes when I'm talking about Metroplex's robot mode. I'm going to go ahead and pause here again, get Fort Max out of the way, and reorient the camera so I can dive into the meat of Metroplex's robot mode. Okay guys, here we have Scamper, now that I got Fort Max out of the way. I'm sorry guys, I just want to apologize for the shaky cam. I'm actually going to have to go hands-free for the rest of this video because his robot mode is just way too tall to manipulate and show off with him on the tripod. It's just not happening. Anyway, here's his little buddy Scamper that he comes with, and Scamper is a nice little scout class Autobot here. He's fairly posable. He's got ball joints, so he's got all sorts of posability goodness going on. Ball joints really all over the place, so he's really a posable little guy. Let's just go ahead and bring him into the camera, that way you can get a good look at him. I dig him. He's a nice little figure that he comes with. Glad they threw that in there. I know there was a Scamper with the original G1 toy as well. So I'm going to go ahead and actually put him in front of... Oh, he's falling over, of course. What a surprise. Anyway. I can get him to stand and stay. There he is. He's as tall as Metroplex's foot. Just to give you an idea of just the size difference there. There is Masterpiece Soundwave, and I brought him out on purpose because I compared their boxes at the beginning of this review, and Masterpiece Soundwave basically goes up to Metroplex's knee. Just shows you how big this guy is. Going up, 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 up. This guy is just freaking massive. Great, though. Great, awesome figure. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get these two guys out of the way and do a few more size comparisons for you. Let's go ahead. Get him out of there. Get him out of there. Grab a deluxe figure. And he doesn't even make it up to Metroplex's knee. So that's kind of a comic, mismatch there. And grab a Voyager figure here. Who doesn't want to... There we go. And he doesn't make it up to Metroplex's knee either. So this just shows you just how massive this thing is. It is literally over 2 feet tall. Gigantic toy. Absolutely gigantic. Now I'm going to go ahead and just get him in here a little closer. That way you can see some of his detail here. And he is just loaded with detail. Great job on the plastic molding. Again, guys, I just want to apologize for the camera here. He's got a lot of sticker detail. He is just one awesome looking toy. Now, you have an option here. You can actually, his gun's on the side, you can have them up, or if you prefer, push them on down. I mean, whichever way you like, you can do. One of my favorite details on them, and a lot of other reviewers have mentioned this, are some of the stickers here that are up top. Now, it's kind of hard to see them because it's a little bit dark, I realize, in the shot. But here in the front, it looks like we got Optimus and Ultra Magnus, in his command center or whatever. Over there, it looks like RC, and on that side, I believe it's Bumblebee. So that's pretty cool. I really like the homage to G1 in that, because that was all, all their G1 selves up there inside of him. Really cool. Now, this guy is extremely posable, and I guess to show off his posability, I'm going to have to put this thing back on a tripod because he's way too heavy for me to manipulate with one hand and use the camera with the other. So I'm going to pause again. Sorry about all this, folks. Okay, guys, just real quick, I'm going to go over his posability with you. He's extremely posable for a figure of this size, much more so than Fort Max, but that does come at a price. He has extremely loose upper leg joints, which of course would make the acrobatics I showed you earlier with Fort Max absolutely impossible with this guy. But it's just a nitpick. This guy, like I said, great posability. Anyway, he does have foot pivots, but they're not really, it doesn't matter because it's not likely you'd ever be able to utilize it. But I will show it off for you. Well, actually, it doesn't really move. I mean, it can, but it's not really designed to. He can bend and rotate at the knees. But again, because of the loose joints, you might put his legs out to the side a little, but oh, he just toppled bad. And that's why, folks, you don't want to do that. I will, just bear with me, guys. I just illustrated the issue with him. I'll be right back after I'm straightened back up. Okay, guys, now that I have him recovered from that little disaster, I'll go ahead and just continue showing off his posability here. Like I said, you saw the movement at his knees. At the top of his legs, they can kind of ratchet out, but again, be real careful with that, and you just saw why. He has waist rotation. And now we'll move up a little bit more. And we'll get into his hands. His hands are extremely posable. He's got wrist rotation. His hand can go up. He has individually articulated fingers, so he can give you, you know, the metal horns, or if you prefer, I think you know the maturity level I'm going for here, he can give you a rude gesture, you know, whatever you want. Individually articulated fingers, that's awesome. On his elbow, it's actually double jointed. It can go all the way up. That is awesome. I love that. The fact that I have that on such a large figure is outstanding to me. Absolutely outstanding. Okay. Moving on, he has, I gotta lift the camera a little more here, shoulder rotation, his head rotates, and of course his shoulders can move out too. All kinds of posability built into this guy, all kinds. I'm actually going to pause again, guys. I apologize. That way I can show off a little more of his robot mode, since I'm not going to have to move him around too much now. I'll be right back to go over some of the finer details. Okay, guys, here I am with the last part of this review. I promise. I'm sorry for being so schizophrenic in this review, but he is really tough to review due to his size. He's a tough one. All that posability, you know, the lack of stability in his joints, his leg joints, make him, he's the toughest one I've ever had to review. I've had the most trouble filming him of any Transformer I've ever had, and I even did Fort Max, but of course I did Fort Max hands-free, so maybe I slightly handicap myself by trying to use a tripod with this guy. Anyway, he is awesomely detailed. I mean, he has molded detail out the wazoo. I mean, he is awesome. As far as his face goes, you have a choice. You can either have his visor down, or if you choose, you of course can have it up. Whatever you like. And of course, to get it down, you just well, I'm not gonna shake him too much. Worry about his visor coming down right now. But you can have it either way. Looks good either way. I think I'll probably end up leaving it down when all's said and done. Let me just go ahead and turn him around here. Get a nice side view of him. And as you can see, he can hold his red gun real easily. His red gun is actually extremely large. It's about the size of a pistol a human would use. That's how big it is. You know, he is just... He holds his weapons real nice. Awesome detailing even on the back here. I mean, they really just did a great job detailing this guy. And the stickers really make a lot of him pop, I think. He is really, really nice. I can't say enough good things about this figure, to be truthful with you. Yeah, there's a few nitpicks, but overall, this guy is absolutely incredible. You know, just insane. Insanely detailed, large, posable, awesome G1 homage. He is absolutely worth getting. I can easily recommend him without a doubt. Now, I did check around online for pricing for this guy, and I think the fact that I got him at $115 was an absolute freaking fluke. Because I saw him on Big Bad Toy Store for $110, but they charge $15 for shipping, so you're going to pay $125 for him. He's the same price at TF Source. He is back in stock at Amazon, but again, he's now $125 at Amazon. So if you want to get this guy soon, you're not going to get him for less than $125. It just is not going to happen. Now, would I say he's worth that amount of money? Absolutely he is. He's a tremendous value. I think he's absolutely worth $125. Be sure to get him soon. You know, I don't know how widely he's... Now, if you want to wait, if you want to take a chance and wait, you might be able to find him on clearance in a physical store, because he is going to be a wide retail release. But, I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I think this guy's going to be pretty popular. He's selling out at a lot of the online retailers, so who knows? Anyway, that's pretty much going to wrap this whole thing up. I really hope you enjoyed watching this thing. I know there were a lot of bumps and bruises along the way, and it was a little schizo, but I had a heck of a lot of fun making this video. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.